resources provided by the Center for Eastern European and Eurasian Studies, and my actually close relationship with folklore through the ensemble Balkanski Ide. And so as an alumni, I'm confident saying that the path through UFC has been truly illuminating, even though we were constantly greeted by the cheerful slogan, where fun comes to die, which, you know, but yeah, it was a great experience to be here. Where did the idea for the 6 of 8 come? Well, I'm originally from Sofia, which is the capital of Bulgaria, which, as you can see, is pretty much chaos in the city today because it's become a migration spot for a lot of Bulgarians from villages and small towns in Bulgaria that today have been partially deserted because of this very aggressive urbanization. And like many of you, Bulgarians, Eastern Europeans, I also had my great-grandmother's village house where I escaped during the summers to escape the city life and kind of enjoy the purity of nature. In my town, well, you can see how deserted it is. My town was a small town in the Thracian region of Bulgaria called Tvrdica. It's close to Sliven. And I spent my summers there with my great-grandparents, as you can see on this picture, and my multiple cousins, and of course in Bulgaria everybody turns out to be your cousin at some point. So these are my great-grandparents. And when I was little, I really loved to be with them, of course, like every kid, but my first impressions and kind of, I guess, childish inspirations came from them. I recorded a lot of their stories, a lot of their, you know, the fairy tales they told me, songs, and etc. And they were my first inspiration. But this organic combination between the nature and the folklore was really what ignited my artistic inspiration, and this is what I'm trying to express today with my art. So what is the forgotten generation? You know, well, why did I call this the forgotten generation, and who are they? As I traveled throughout the years to different towns and places in Bulgaria, little villages, I noticed those elderly people that were, you know, stuck in the villages. They were hanging out by themselves. You know, you couldn't see a lot of young people in those villages back then, today actually. And I actually, what I did was I recorded and sketched them. I recorded their stories, kind of conversations, and especially when they were at Sidyankas or the social gatherings that they have, or during work. You know, as you can see, they're sewing here, or when they're enjoying themselves. And it really, all those stories came from these kind of events or these kind of social gatherings that they had. So I witnessed the world of a generation that today has become a history pretty much. And I know I could feel the gap between the young generation and the old generation as the elderly remained in they remained in their own villages, and the young people migrated to Sofia, for example. I attempted to paint their world, the purity of their world, and their stories and their forgotten past. This is a story about a generation that survived 2 wars, a generation whose folklore meant life, and a generation that of endless toil and tradition. So the folklore culture of the Balkans has blossomed with this generation. We can see this in their songs, in their dances, in their music, and in the way they pray, the way they live in general. And these are villagers whose life was an endless devotion to the earth, that they walked, they sowed, that they harvested. The dances that they had signified the type of work performed, as you can see, and their dedication, of course, to labor. So their songs also expressed one's passage through life and the annual cycles of nature. Their connection to earth was, in particular, very, very, very strong and very inspiring for me. To me, folklore portrays this organic relationship between the individual and the earth. So this is what I'm trying to express here. The wave of modernization and urbanization opened this wide gap, as I said, between the old and the young generation. As the elderly remained deserted in their villages, they age alone and pretty much vanish with time. And they take with them this authentic village folklore, as Emilina has said. And to me, this is like the erosion of soil. Years pass, ideologies are replaced by new ones. You have, as folklore also transforms and adapts to new means of life. Through dance, song, and art, we try to preserve the meaning of folklore and the rich culture of the Balkans. So I thank you for making this very memorable. Thank you very much.